but I didn't. Maybe today I will
Yeah.
get that.
So today we'll discuss about today we'll discuss about the VPC CIDR creation. Okay. So then for the VPC, I'm going to use 10.21.0.0/16. Then subnets, I'm choosing 10.21.0.0/20. Then 10.21 dot, what is the next series?
37.
Yeah, 16.0/20. Then 10 dot. Then I want to make it one subnet as public, one as private. Both I want to keep in one zone. Then this is in another one, maybe 1B I'll call. I want to make it public. One A, 1B depends upon the region we'll choose. So now here if I go for North Virginia, we have the VPCs. So we already created the VPCs, right?
Yes.
If I go to this VPC, we have a Bank of America, North Virginia VPC. Then I'm going to choose one more. Maybe I'm choosing Mumbai. For Bank of America itself, they have the Mumbai office. Okay, and this is the default one. I'm going to create a new VPC. I'm going to create a new VPC. Then here, Bank of America VPC Mumbai I have given. And what is the CIDR we have decided is, so this is the CIDR. Okay, so then with this, I'm not choosing any IPv6. IPv4 itself I have chosen here. Optional, if you want, we can create IPv6 also. Okay, so meanwhile, I'll create the subnets also. So all the four also automatically I can create. I'm choosing here my Mumbai VPC. Then here I have the subnets I have is 1A I'm choosing. Then Mumbai public subnet 1A I have chosen. 1A. Then what is the CIDR we have chosen here is 10.21./20. Then I'm creating one more also. Say it's not public. One A, it's mandatory. I need to choose 1A because otherwise AWS itself will choose. Then what is the CIDR we want to give is 10.21.16/20. As of now, I have created two subnets. Now try to understand. I'll choose the same VPC. No doubts, right, regarding this? Have chosen here public 1B and I'm choosing 1B now. So try to understand, I'll do one small mistake. So what is the risk with this? That 1.0 is already reserved. 1.0 is already reserved for that. Yeah, any doubts on that?
Yeah. So I didn't understand this
No,
warning that
this will throw one warning because that we have a conflict because already 10.21.0.0/20 is already having this address also.
okay.
Okay, so that is the reason it throws an error.
Okay. So
Okay,
that's why you are putting a
yes,
one.
yes. Then
Okay.
32/24 it will take. Okay, so I'll create /24. It will create also, but my manager will tell don't use /24. Then I'm deleting this one. What I'm doing? Okay, so
Okay.
this is itself, right? 1B. I'm deleting this. Then I'm going to create a subnet. So I'm choosing 1B. Zone also 1B. I'll use 21.32.0/20 I have taken here. Then I'm adding one more
Sir, at a time add 4 subnet.
yes, we can add it. One B 10.21.48.0/. Okay, so this is the subnet I'm going to create. Almost 4 subnets. Sorry. Here we shouldn't give /16 anyhow, that is a wrong cider itself. Okay, so as per the design I have created, but I want to make it 2 subnets as public. Okay, I want to make it 2 subnets as public. What I need to do for that?
You need to add gateway, internet gateway.
Internet gateway. I'm going to create an internet gateway here. I'm going to create an internet gateway. I'll create a Bank of America, Mumbai, IGW or IG. Anything is fine. After this is mandatory, we need to attach to VPC. And we are choosing our Bank of America, Mumbai VPC. Then I need to create a route table. So I need to create a route table I need to create. Okay. So here we need to go for route table. Okay. So now here we need to create that route table. So by default, this also will get only one route itself. That is also local router. If I attach this to the public subnet, still that would be private itself. I need to add one more route to this. I'm adding a route. Okay. So why I'm adding here 0.0? Can you guide me? Because the users from any of the IP, they can connect. Okay. So that is the reason I'm using this, and I'm
Uh,
going to save that. If the users come with the within the internal IP, that is going to use local router, and if the users comes with any other IP other than the 10 dot series, we are going to use internet gateway. Internet gateway. Okay, then this I need to attach you to. So I can go to actions, edit subnet settings. Among this, I can choose two subnets I want to make it. Then one be public, one a public. I'm making as subnets, and I'll go to that subnets also. From the subnet also, what I can do is I can go to actions, edit route table association. Here also I can attach if I want. Means subnet to route table we can attach, or route table to subnet also we
Subnet.
can attach, but almost it's the same. Okay, then if I go to the subnet, okay, and in the subnet I'm checking that route table. If I have only one route, what is that meaning?
that is a private.
It's a private. If I have only one route, it's a private. Okay, so then if I'm having two routes, so I'll confirm whether this is a private or not. Yeah, this is the private subnet, no problem. So we need to review like this also, and go and check that public also, that particular route table also. If you have 10 route tables, all also we need to confirm like this. Okay, then how many routes we have here?
Two routes
Two routes. Okay, and internet gateway is there or not?
not connected, so we need to
No,
connect.
no. Internet gateway is attached to this sub route table.
Okay, target. Okay.
It's clear, right? Internet gateway has been attached to that. That is the reason it's a public subnet.
Yes. Yes. So in that target, first is showing IGW. So that is means it is connected already.
Yes, yes, it's already to that subnet. That route table is already attached.
Yes.
Means that subnet is already become
Connected.
Public.
the public itself.
Public. Yes.
Okay, so this also I'll confirm once. So this is also is the public
Public
itself.
already connected.
Okay, so everything is clear, right, till now? And in the
Yes.
public subnets to instances to get the public IPs, we have one setting. In order to give that public access, we have one setting for the public subnets. We need to choose that option. Any idea? So otherwise, instance won't get the public IP, right?
Yes.
Instance won't
Yes.
get the public IP. Say go to that subnet, actions, edit subnet settings. So what option we need to choose there?
You need to enable.
Enable auto assign.
Yeah, enable auto assign. Say if I don't enable this option, we have one more option. We have one more place we can select that. Where?
During instance creation.
The instance creation by default it will come disabled, but depends upon our requirement. We can select that. Okay, so no doubts, right? But I recommend for the public subnets, even that resource name also is we can choose that option also. And even we have one more subnet also. For that also better to enable public IPs. For private subnets, not required. Actions, sorry, both are selected, it seems. Save this one. Okay, so then we can create the instances, all these. Okay, so any doubts on this? Any doubts till now?
No.
Okay, so then we'll go for NACL or NACLs, network access control list. Okay, so by default, when we create a subnet, by default we'll get one. Okay, and automatically what are the subnets all are attached to this. I'll ask one question. I have one doubt. Try to answer this. I have one private subnet and I have assigned auto assign public IP. Then I got one private IP and one public IP. Okay, but that subnet is private. Okay, but I got for that instance, I got a public IP. Then can I connect to that instance or not?
No,
No, because
because we have not opened the port in security.
no. At the route table, there is no internet gateway router, right?
Yes, yes.
Say we don't have a route itself.
Yes, yes.
I hope you got it right. So what is the thing is we have a private subnet, means internet gateway is not there. But to that instance, at the instance provisioning, I have enabled public IP also. I got a public IP also. But that routing is not supporting in this use case. That routing is not supporting in this. Okay, because it's not allowing us to connect to that. Okay, so any doubts on that? Any doubts? Yeah, please ask me if you have any doubts.
No,
No,
sir.
Okay, sure. Then what is NACL?
Actually, the network access control list.
A network access control list. These are the firewall rules at
Yes.
Subnet level.
Subnet. No,
firewall
VPC level.
rules at yeah, subnet level. Even all subnets will get, but we can change at the subnet level.
Okay.
Okay. So what is security group?
Firewall rules at instance level.
Instance level. Okay. In Azure, there is a small change. In Azure, we are calling as NSG. Okay. What is the concept of NSG? Network security group. Even at the subnet level also same term, and even at VM level also the same term we are using. Okay, so we are using the term called NSG. NSG stands for Network Security Group.
Network security.
So instead of NACL and security group, we have NSGs itself either at the subnet level we have or at VM level also. Instead of instance, they'll call the VM. Okay, so NACL is the firewall rule set. Then one more difference what we can discuss is The second difference is we can configure allow and any kind of rules. So that means I can configure 22 port allow. I can configure 22 port Denny. If I give both, then we are getting a conflict or not? Say one rule is telling allow, another rule is telling
Not.
Denny. Then which one it need to take? Okay, so then there the third difference we have is, so we have rule priorities we have. What is that meaning of rule priorities? So to which rule I have given more priority, that would be considered. That means to the allow rule, if I give the priority, then that would be considered. For the Denny rule, if I give the high priority, then Denny will work. When the rule priority will come, if you have any conflict of rules, then rule priority will come. If you don't have any conflict,
There is no use for like root priority.
yeah, we no need to go for
Root priority.
the rule priorities. Okay. So, but we don't have these kind of things in the security group. Whatever we have given, only that is allowed. Remaining all are denied itself. Okay. But here, as we have the rule, deny and allow rules, we can give either. So what we can do here, we can give either allow or deny as we have given. If any conflict comes, we can give the priority. I'll tell one example. So suppose you want to go to movie something, your father is telling no, your mother is telling yes. So who is having the priority there? That will work. Okay. So that means who is having the priority, that is going to work. In the same way, if I have any of the conflict of rules, if both say yes, no problem, right? When the priority will comes,
Depends on the scenario. Means
if
how
any
much
conflict is there between the rules, if there is any conflict between the rules, then
which one is impacted the particular area. So that's we can like pick up.
yeah,
Yes.
I hope you got it right. Okay, but we don't have these kind of things in the security groups. So allowed any kind of rules and rule priorities, all those. And there is one more major difference is there. Okay, say one like NACL is stateless and the security group is a stateful firewall. Okay, so NACL is a stateless firewall and the security group is a stateful firewall. Okay, so what is that difference also? So total we have 4 differences. Can you tell me what are those 4 differences between NACL and the security group?
NACL works at subnet level,
Yeah,
whereas
NACL works at
NSG works at instance level.
yeah.
And NACL allows and denies rules, but means it allows and denies the traffic.
Yeah, say NACL will allows and then is the
Traffic.
traffic. Okay, so whereas security group, we don't have any rule priorities, we don't have allowed any kind of rules we have. Okay, so then
Also, next is NACL is stateless requires.
yeah,
So
NACL
it
is
is
a
more,
stateless kind of firewall.
and the security group is stateful
Yeah,
kind of.
stateful kind of firewall. These all the 4 we need to tell. Okay, easy to I have one more doubt is security group is only for instance. It's not only for the instance. Maybe inside the subnet you have a database like RDS, load balancers. For all those also this will come. Okay. So security group is a stateful firewall. What is that meaning is, if I open
Automatically allow
that one
return to
inbound rule, automatically that outbound rule also is going to open. If I allow inbound rule, outbound rule is automatically
allow.
allowed. Okay, so that is one of the difference. But stateless, so we need to define both inbound and
Outbound.
okay. If I open inbound rule, automatically outbound rule also opened. But in the stateless, what we need to do? We need to define, or we need to define separately, or we need to open even in inbound and
Outbound.
outbound also. This difference, like if it is a stateless, both inbound and outbound rules must be defined. And we are going to give the order also. I'll tell one example. Try to answer. 22 port allow. I have configured 100 priority. Rule priority is 100. 22 port Denny I have given 200. Then can you guess 100 will work or 200? Which will have high priority? Which will have the high priority?
So maybe as per the regulation we say
100 is having high priority or 200 is having high priority? Hundred is having high priority or 200 is having high priority?
maybe 100 is because it is allowing 22 port allow.
Come again. Say here, 100 is having high priority. So rank 1 is bigger or rank 10 is bigger?
Sorry,
So rank
Rank
1
one.
is good or rank 10 is good?
rank 10 is good maybe.
Which rank is good? Rank 1 or rank 10? Like maybe like
Rank 1 only, sir.
rank 1 is better, right? Say don't compare with the number 100 or 200. Which number is bigger? Is 200 is bigger, but 100 is having high priority here. It's just like the rank kind of thing. Okay. So among the 100 and 200, say suppose among these rules, can you tell me that 22 port is now allowed or Denny
Allowed.
is allowed? Okay. Then here I change this one to 400. Then what is going to happen?
Delhi.
Is going to Denny. Okay. So we'll summarize. Security groups are instance level. We don't have allowed any kind of rules. We don't have rule priorities and it's stateful. Okay. So whereas NACL is subnet level and stateless and we can have allow and any kind of rules. And we can have the rule priorities like 100, 200 like this. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts on that? Any doubts on that?
Srikanth, can we configure in security groups? We only configure inbound rules.
By default, outbound all traffic is allowed.
Then why it is automatically outbound rule is?
No. That is the reason it is automatically it is coming like that telling. In security group NACL, what happening is by default allowed any both the inbound and outbound are allowing.
Okay.
Okay. So by default allow and any is allowed, depends upon our requirement we need to configure. But in the security group by default whatever the things we have allowed, that is automatically allowed in
Outbound rules.
outbound rules also. But vice versa is not possible. Because all the outbound is allowed, that doesn't mean inbound is also all allowed. Okay, so if I open inbound rule, automatically outbound rule also is opened there. Okay, so that is the firewall type we have, but security group is working as a stateful firewall, whereas NACL is
Stateless.
stateless. Okay, so then coming back to the internet gateway versus NAT gateway, as both having gateways, maybe this become interview question. Internet gateway is for to make the subnet public, means it's going to give the public access, and second one is
Not getting.
Internet
it's
connectivity.
giving the internet also to those resources. Then what NAT gateway is doing?
Only internet connectivity.
Yeah, for the private subnet missions, if you want any of the internet to those servers, maybe to access some APIs, patching, okay, then we need to go for
Not getting.
NAT gateway, we need to go. Okay. Any doubts?
Not.
So then here, what is the purpose of NAT devices already we discussed? Okay, NAT devices are two types. One is NAT instance. Second one is NAT gateway. Okay, so NAT instance, NAT gateway, the purpose is same. In the job, you don't need to use both the things. Either NAT gateway or NAT instance will choose in the real time. We don't need to choose both of them. Okay, either NAT gateway or
Not instant.
NAT instance we are going to choose. Okay, then if I go for the NAT gateway, what is that meaning is? So NAT gateway is managed by, the purpose is same, is managed by AWS. Okay, NAT instance, we need to create an EC2 instance as NAT instance. Means NAT gateway is a device that is managed by AWS itself. Whereas NAT instance is,
We need to create for EC2 instance.
yeah, we need to create a EC2 instance, but the purpose is same for both. They have their own advantages and disadvantages, but always better to go with the managed service because it reduces the burden for us.
Yes.
Okay, so what is that meaning is, if I go for a managed service, high availability, load balancing, auto scaling, patching, maintenance, everything is taken care by
Not getting.
everything is taken care by AWS itself. If it is a NAT instance, we should be responsible for that. We should be responsible for that. Okay. And what is the meaning of auto scaling is, say suppose assume I'll tell one example. You have internet, you taken 50 GB, but you want more systems have been attached. It won't automatically scale up right to 100 GB or 300 GB. 300 Mbps like that. Okay, but if I use a NAT gateway, it will provide more bandwidth for me automatically. But disadvantage is, what is the disadvantage? They'll charge more money for me. Okay, but Based on the usage, we need to pay. For NAT instance, depends upon your instance type. You took like maybe T3 dot extra large. For that instance, you need to pay. And what is the maximum bandwidth we'll get? That only is there. Okay. But with the NAT gateway, what's happening? With the NAT gateway, what's happening? It's automatically is going to scale up those also. It's automatically is going to scale up, and we can we need to pay more money, but I have some 100 servers are there. For all the 100 servers, will get the better internet connectivity or not?
So we need the internet better connectivity.
Yeah, and even if one NAT gateway goes down, we no need to worry. That is the AWS worry. And I want to do the patches, all those also. Like AWS will take care. You no need to worry about all those. You no need to worry about all these. Okay, so that is the difference. But the purpose is, yeah, the purpose is the same. What is the purpose of those? What is the purpose of those? The purpose is like we want to give the internet for the, we want to give the internet to the private
Private
subnet
instance.
instances. To the private subnet instances, I want to provide the internet. Then I'm going to use the NAT devices, either NAT instance or NAT gateway. Okay. Then one more important thing is elastic IP is mandatory for NAT instance. Okay, so then if we go for the NAT gateway, we need to purchase. It's mandatory when elastic IP is required. For NAT instance, not mandatory. We can use the public IP also. So we can use the public IP also. Okay, then so which one you feel more beneficial for us?
NAT gateway.
NAT gateway. Then what may be the use case? We'll go for NAT instance is our own customized security groups can be applied. Okay, our own security groups can be applied to that NAT instance. But to the NAT gateway, who is going to decide that?
will take care.
The AWS itself will give that. We can't modify that. We can't see that security group also. Okay, but you want your own customized rules if you want, then we can go for
NAT instance.
NAT instance. Okay, any doubts? So hence you need to tell the differences between public subnet, private subnet, then NACL versus security group, NAT gateway versus
Is NAT instance.
internet gateway, then NAT gateway versus NAT gateway versus
NAT instance.
NAT instances also. Okay. Sure. Any doubts on this? Any doubts?
In these things, if any gateway is a public, so we need to do a private. So is it possible to do?
No. VPC can have both public and private, both we can have, unless we don't want at all a public access.
Okay.
There are some companies, they don't want to use any of the public internet. On premises, they have their own data center, and in the cloud also, they want to keep a private subnet. Between them, they will have the like VPN kind of connectivity. Okay. Yeah. Any other doubts? Then here try to tell one scenario. We have the route table, right? So by default, we are getting a route table. What is the rule is? So in our scenario, we took 10.21.0/16 local. Then I have one private subnet 10.21.16.0/20 and 10.21.32.0. These two are two different private subnets. Then can you guess me whether that between those two communication is happening and how it is happening? Between those two, the communication is happening or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, how it is happening.
So both are the
VPC.
private.
They both are in the same.
Yes,
Through
so private.
VPC.
Yeah, through the VPC, by default, we are getting the inbuilt route table, and with that,
Local
that
links.
communication is going to happen by default. By default, that the communication is going to happen by default. Okay, so then try to understand. I don't want this communication between these two. Okay, so due to some personal reasons, client telling don't allow those two. But by default, that route table is we can't delete that rule. Then can you tell me any of the solution? Where we can block that? Where we can block that? Come with one solution.
With using NACL, I think.
Yeah, using the NACL, we can block that. Then suppose for this subnet, what I'll add is I'll add 10.21. I'm adding this cider as Denny list. Okay, then if any of the IP comes with 32 subnet, that this is applied to 16.0, right? Okay, then what it will be Denny. And this here also, if you want to Denny, here I'll add the cider is this rule where I need to configure at the NACL level. At the NACL level, we
We
can
have to
configure this. So this is very rare use case. Okay. And even one more for the private subnet, what is the best practice I can suggest is by default in the security group. Sorry, if we go to the NACL, I'll go to NACL here. I think we didn't went to NACL, right? It's almost looks like a security group itself. Then I'm going to create my NACL for Bank of America private NACL. I'm creating this. I want to attach to my private subnets only. Then here I choose this NACL. Then I'll go to that inbound and outbound rules. By default, what is going to happen is
inbound.
in the default we are getting one thing, right? In that it's automatically all traffic is allowed. But in the custom, explicitly we need to open. What we need to open? We need to open both inbound and
Outbound.
that is the reason it's called as
NACL.
Stateless.
stateless.
Security.
I hope you got it right. In the security group, even if you create a new security group, inbound it's almost all blocked, but outbound rule is allowed.
Allowed.
Okay, so then here I'm going to create a new inbound rule, and I'll change this also, and I'm choosing all traffic. Okay, I'm going to allow, and mostly 100 is the high priority. So these kind of rule priorities also we don't have at the security group level. And if I give 200, or even that star also is the least priority, that is. Then even if 100 is telling allow, 200 is telling
Denny.
Denny, then what is going to happen?
Hello.
First, I think it is allowed, right?
The 100 itself will have the high priority.
Yes.
So just I'm removing that one. Okay. So it depends upon your requirement. Here you can configure allow and Denny kind of rules. And once you create these changes, these can be attached to the subnets. To which subnets you want. With that, we can attach it. In the subnet level, whichever, wherever you want, you can attach to that. Okay. So by default, even we'll get a security group also. Okay. We can attach. And I have one more doubt. Can we have two security groups to an instance? Okay. Yes, we can have two security groups also to an instance. Is possible. Both the resultant set, we are going to get it. Okay. So multiple security groups also we can attach to the instance. Okay. Then one more important thing we have. What are the maximums we have? We need to discuss. Say that's maybe the quotas also we can call. So now here try to understand. So how many VPCs we can create? Per region 5. What is this meaning of adjustable means? What is that meaning of adjustable?
We can increase
Means
the
we can raise the quota request and the AWS can increase that also. Okay, if I go for adjustable, what is that meaning? If you raise a quota request, AWS can increase also. But by default, how many VPCs we can create?
5.
5. In that already that custom is also is there. Okay, then subnets per, it's not region level. Subnets per VPC are subnets per VPC
Zones.
are
Jones.
200 subnets we can create. 200 subnets we can create. Okay, so then as of now we created only 4 or 6, but depends upon that we can go. That's not mandatory we need to use, but these are the limits we have. And how many CIDR ranges we given in one VPC is only we given 10.20 dot or 10.21 dot like this. Even if those are exhausted, we can add more also. Like this, how many CIDRs we can add?
Up to 16. This is showing already.
The 5 we can add. Okay, so 5.
So what about the after 50 means like if we add 5, so then
Come
it is,
again.
it is showing like yes up to 50.
That is maximum, that is 50. Even if you raise a ticket also, maximum they can give till 50 itself.
Okay, means we can increase.
Okay. And IPv6 previously only 1 is there, but now they given by default 5 and maximum it can be till
6.
50. And public access, this is not that much required. DNS also. Elastic IP, how many we are creating?
Multiple is showing
5 per region, but it's adjustable. Okay. Then, so there is a slight difference between internet gateway and egress only internet gateway. Internet gateway is for IPv4 addresses. Egress only internet gateway is for IPv6 address. But as of now, while choosing the VPC CIDR, we have given only, we have chosen only IPv4. That is the reason we are not using egress only. If you use IPv6 also, then we need to specify egress only internet gateway. Can you tell me the difference between internet gateway and egress only internet gateway? In the VPC, if we choose IPv6 also, then we are going to specify egress only internet gateway. But as of now, we have chosen only
IPv4 internet gateway.
Actually,
okay. So if we have IPv6, then we need to choose that. And NAT gateways, how many supported? How many NAT gateways? In one zone, 5. Okay. The remaining not that much, but route table rules, all those also important. So how many NACLs? 200 NACLs. In NACL rules, we can configure 20. This is important. Route tables are 200. And each, we given route, right? Only 2 we given. One is by default we got. Second one we given our own route. Okay. So how many route servers? These all not that much. Yeah, security groups. How many security groups?
2000.
So almost we are getting 2,500
500.
security groups. Okay. So that's also still we can increase. And in the inbound and outbound rules, we can configure 60 inbound rules we can give. Okay. So in the one security group, like maybe we given 22 SH, HTTP, HTTPS, like this we can configure. How many? 60 rules. In NACL, we are configuring 20. Okay. So then peering wise also we have some important scenarios. Say these all like you no need to remember, but for interview wise we are remembering. You can get it the documentation and from that we can see, or from the quotas also we'll get. Say here how many peering connections as of now, try to remember this one. So we'll discuss peering connections also, but how many peering connections we can create? By default 50, and that can be scalable till
120.
yeah. So now here, what is this connection request also we'll discuss 25. Okay. So that means at any point of time I can send 25. After that, I can't send a request kind of thing. Okay. So those need to be accepted. But the maximum number of connections we can establish is 125 peering connections. Okay. So I have 2 different VPCs want to communicate. Then I need to go for VPC peering. Okay. Yeah, sure. Any doubts? Any doubts on this?
No, right now.
Okay. So these that lab we have, right? Those videos also just finish once.
Yes, yes, yes. Today I had.
Okay. So if we discuss more, it would be little confusing. We'll stop here. Tomorrow I'll show. But till this, everyone do the lab work.